HR Basics is a series of short lessons designed to highlight what you need to know about a particular human resource management topic. In today's HR Basics, we explore training and development, discussing the importance of the actions employers take to improve the performance and better staff through learning and growth opportunities. Training is the development and delivery of information people will use in their jobs. This definition distinguishes training from other situations where people are provided information, but they're not necessarily expected to use it. The distinction between training and non-training activities is an important one. Mainly, the process for developing training is substantially different from that of non-training activities. Development refers to learning interventions that make people better. Employee development is almost universally recognized as a strategic tool for an organization's continuing growth, productivity, and ability to retain valuable employees. No matter training or development, people learn in various ways. Learning styles indicate the most effective methods of instruction for various types of learners. When developing training content and delivery methods, recognizing these differences enhances the effectiveness of training. 3 distinct learning styles are visual. Our visual learners like to see when learning. Auditory. These learners simply learn better by listening. And kinesthetic. These learners best acquire new skills and knowledge by doing something. Although everyone learns in all of these styles, each person has one dominant learning style. A study of over 5,300 participants identified the following breakdown among learning styles, which are believed to be representative of the general population. 29% of participants were visual, while 34% were auditory, and 37% were kinesthetic. Although each person normally has one dominant learning style, each of us learns in all 3 ways. A small number of people learn just as easily using any of the 3 styles. Trainers should recognize these various styles and present material to stimulate all 3. Often, when people are asked to assume a trainer role, they begin with an image of training based on how they were taught in the past. In most instances, the image in their minds is closely related to how they were taught as children in school. But there are some significant differences between children and adults as learners. It's important to understand these differences, referred to pedagogy, or the art and science of helping kids learn, and andragogy, the art and science of helping adults learn, so that you can gear your training to the needs of your adult audience. Let's first look at pedagogy, how we learned as kids. Typically, children rely on others to decide what is important to be learned, such as the teacher in the classroom. They accept information that's being presented at face value with very little question. They expect what they're learning to be useful in their long-term future, and they have little to no experience upon which to draw in their learning environment, and as such have little ability to serve as a knowledgeable resource for the teacher or classmates in their learning environment. Andragogy, or how adults learn, is a little bit different. For instance, adults decide for themselves what's important to be learned. They need to verify information that's taught or provided in a lesson based on their own beliefs and experiences. They expect to have learning that's immediately useful to them, and have a lot of past experience upon which to draw from in their learning environments, and therefore have a significant ability to serve as a knowledgeable resource to the trainer and learners around them. The differences between children and adults as learners point to the need to follow specific principles when training adults. There's 7. First, focus on real-world problems. Second, emphasize how learning can be applied. Third, relate learning to the goals of the learner. Fourth, relate the learning to past experiences of the learner. Fifth, allow debate and challenge of ideas. 6th, listen to and respect the opinions of learners. And 7th, and finally, encourage learners to be a resource to you, the instructor, and to one another. With that, you can see it's important to know and understand the most basic training tool used by professional trainers. It's called the ADDIE model. You see it here. The ADDIE model is a generic, systematic, step-by-step framework that trainers use to develop great initiatives. In the first phase, analysis, needs and objectives of the learning are established. In the design phase, learning objectives, session structure, and resources are identified. During the development phase, content for the training session is completed. The implementation phase involves the preparation and delivery of training content, and finally, the evaluation phase is an ongoing process that ensures all stated goals of the learning process will meet specified needs identified in analysis. Many organizations, recognizing the strategic importance of learning, strive to become learning organizations. A learning organization embraces a culture of lifelong learning, enabling all employees to acquire and share knowledge all the time. Training processes are carefully scrutinized and aligned with organizational goals. Managers take an active role in identifying training needs and helping to ensure that employees use their training in their work. Also, employees are actively encouraged to share knowledge with colleagues and other work groups. In a learning organization, training is seen as one part of a system designed to develop people through continuous learning. A great way that learning organizations practically apply their commitment is an organizational university, commonly referred to as a corporate university, as a model for delivering organizational learning. To gain the advantages of centralized training, many organizations use the organizational university model. Organizational universities are internal, organizational entities designed to brand and execute training and development initiatives that foster a culture of learning. A corporate university can help make learning more strategic by providing a clear mission and vision for learning and ensure that it's aligned with business needs. It can also help organizations who have a strong business culture and values ensure that those values and mission are emphasized in learning curriculum. This occurs through providing consistent training activities, disseminating best learning practices, effectively using technology, and establishing partnerships to develop custom training programs that serve employee and organizational needs. Organizational universities represent one of the most powerful growing trends in the organizational environment today. Experts estimate that more than 2,000 organizational universities exist in the United States. The number of organizational universities is growing. Currently, 29% of organizations are establishing an organizational university or planning to do so, and 95% of employees indicate a greater interest and connection with learning through an organizational university. The organizational university phenomenon is an important tool to help HR strategically manage talent and implement great learning and development.